Hi, this is Salona from Chick with a Deck, and this is a special daily mystery card for the new year. For the next 9 days, we'll be focusing on your personal year number. Today's personal year number is the number 7. 7 is a spiritual number, and if this is a year 7 for you, you might find yourself seeking a deeper meaning in your life. So 7 numerologically is made up of 3 and 4, and while 3 is growth, 4 is stagnation. So the two have very different impulses, and the 7 is about how you reconcile them. So too much 4 energy, which is stagnation and stability, and the 3, which is growth and expansion, is smothered. So too much 4 smothers the 4, and nothing can grow because it limits it. But too much 3 energy, and the 4 is overpowered and growth gets out of hand. So there's nothing to limit it. So in numerology, a 7 year refers to a year of contemplation and inner awareness. And basically it's about being able to harness the energy of the 7 to balance the 3 and the 4 so that the growth can happen in a controlled way. So in the tarot, the card associated with number 7 is the Chariot. And it's all about asserting your will on external forces. So the way I understand it is this. Spiritual growth involves developing your higher consciousness in order to regulate lower impulses. So in meditation, for example, this takes place in the mind. Whenever a spontaneous thought arises, at least in Shambhala meditation, which is the one that I'm familiar with, instead of going with the impulse to follow that thought, you come back to your breath and you curb the impulse. So the Chariot is similar. The figure in the card, the one that's in the Chariot, is the one holding the reins. So it's the higher consciousness, and it's exerting control over the 2 horses, which I liken as the 3 and the 4. They have different impulses. And it's the one with the the one with the reins that's deciding where the 2 horses go. So it's just bringing 2 different impulses together, focused on one direction. So in tarot, 7s are called challenges. And at a basic level, a challenge is something that tests you. And oftentimes, anyone who's followed any kind of spiritual path, you know this to be true. The 7, so in the Minor Arcana, the Chariot kind of rules over these Minor Arcana cards. So the 7 of Cups is about having too many desires and not being able to choose one over the other. So anything that's related to cups is related to your heart, what tugs at your heartstrings. In this case, it's a desire. So the test in this card is to see each desire for what it really is, because a lot of them are actually an illusion in a sense. They're not actually clear what they are, and there's sort of this wishful thinking aspect of it, of like, oh, maybe I can do this thing. But really, you're not actually seeing it clearly, and it's not actually good for you. So one of the tests is to see each desire for what it really is and not get carried away with the romanticism of each one. The 7 of Wands is about defiance and standing your ground. So all kinds of opposing energies, these 6 wands here that are coming to attack this figure, they're coming at you, and in order to deal with this challenge, you need to be unwavering and you need to stand your ground, essentially. So the test here is whether or not you're going to stay put and stick with your current path and stand your ground. So the 7 of Swords is often a card about cheating or sneaking, because the card is describing the kind of mental strategies that we come up with when we're faced with a challenging situation. It's not always about that. Sometimes it's just about planning and coming up with strategies. It's about using your mind and being calculated in your efforts in order to outwit an opponent, basically something or someone that's testing your mind. And finally, the 7 of Pentacles is a test of patience. So it's that moment when you need to decide whether or not you're going to give up out of frustration when something hasn't finished developing, or you haven't come to the end of anything yet, of something, or are you going to keep waiting, knowing that your patience is going to pay off. So sometimes you need to give up, because whatever it is you're waiting for has actually failed. So in this case, it's being represented by a crop, but it could be anything. And waiting any longer would actually be a waste of time, but you also risk giving up too soon. So the test here is to know the difference. So I see all of these relating to different aspects of spiritual development. Life tests us, and each of these cards can teach us how to handle these tests. And the Chariot is related to the astrological sign of Cancer. And Cancers don't easily show their emotions. They have a deep inner world. So in a year 7, the need to go inward and explore fits this very well. So while you live out the next year, if you're in a year 7, think about how you can go inward and find a deeper meaning in your life, and consider how you're going to face any tests that come your way. I hope you're enjoying this series of personal year numbers, and I hope it's giving you some insight on the energy that you'll be working with in 2015. Just to let you know that I've extended my 50% discount for a full coming year forecast until the end of January. This is a complete tarot reading on every aspect of your life for 2015, and it's to help you make the best of the coming year. This is an incredible deal. It means $30 for a 6-month forecast and $60 for the full year.